So today we're going to be working on, this is a 2007 Chevy Silverado, and I'm having the classic oil consumption issues, and I've already disabled the active fuel management. I just did that with a the range tuner. The next step is to replace this left side, or the driver's side valve cover. So the problem is the original design is a kind of an oval right here, and this new one puts these little lips in here that's supposed to prevent unnecessary oil getting sucked up through PCV, which of course then is put into the intake, and that's where all your oil goes. The tools you need for this are super simple. A 10mm box wrench. A ratcheting one makes it even easier and faster. And then an 8mm socket, 1/4-inch wrench, and then I also used a 1/4-inch torque wrench, which isn't absolutely necessary, but if you have one, you might as well torque everything to spec. So just these 3 or 4 tools is everything you need. And when you order up this new one, make sure it comes with a new gasket right here. So you don't want to reuse old gaskets. The other thing, and this is straight from the factory manual, they want you to putting some water right in this hole here and making sure that it doesn't leak anywhere. So you want to make sure you're not getting unnecessary leaks around this fitting here or anything else. If you are getting leaks, then you need to seal it with epoxy. So the first part of this is we need to remove this engine cover. It's just a piece of plastic and pops straight up just like so, and you slide it out. We're going to be removing these studs. I believe there should be 5 of them. This one right here, one's hidden behind there, one's right there, one is, you have to pull this electrical connection up, and then there's one back there. In addition to these studs that we need to remove, we also need to disconnect this electrical connection, and you have to pull out this little tab here. Once that's disconnected, you can pull this up and the whole thing pops off like that. Tuck that out of the way. We also have our 4 spark plug wires that need to be popped off. Give them a good yank. Also, I saw some people were curious on forums if you had to drain your oil first, and you do not. So if you figure your dipstick goes all the way to the bottom of your engine and you only have this much oil in your dipstick, there's no way oil's going to be all the way up here. There may be a little bit of oil pooled in like a crevice or something, but your engine oil level's not going to be up here. So we have these spark plug wires off. Now we'll just remove these studs, and these are 10mm, so a ratcheting box end works great. Okay, so in this case, my 11mm ratcheting is a little bit too fat. The edge is too fat, so I'm going to have to either grab a socket or a non-ratcheting to get that one off. Okay, there's number 5. Now this whole thing should be able to kind of flip down out of the way, like so. We can even get it up and out if we want, just like that. Okay, now we're right down to the actual valve cover. So the only thing we really have here, we have this tube, and this is actually our PCV valve. So we're gonna have to pop that off, just like that. Comes off real easy. So get yourself an 8mm socket. That one let go. Okay, that's it. Now just carefully remove this. Flip it up a little bit. That way if you have any oil sitting in there, you're not gonna cover your engine with it. Okay, so there's the old one right there with the outdated valve. Good idea is to just take a little bit of oil and put it on the new gasket surface. That just kind of helps lubricate it and it doesn't bind up when you install the new one. Make sure your surface is nice and clean too. Make sure you get all of your gasket off before we put the new one on. We know that this is going to be the back just because of our PCV baffle right there. Alright. Get it approximately lined up, and there's a couple of them threaded. Okay, we're just going finger tight right now, just to get them seated, and we're going to torque them. I have my 1/4 inch torque wrench here. I set it to 106 inch-pounds, which is approximately 9 foot-pounds. This step isn't super necessary because it does have a rubber gasket, so it's not going to be like, you don't absolutely have to torque it like this if you don't want to, if you don't have access to one of these. But I do, so I'll use it anyway. So I set it to 106, and this is the click type. Okay, and there's 106 inch-pounds right there. Okay, next thing we got to do, don't forget your PCV valve right here needs to connect back on right there. Okay, we can go ahead and get all these wires out of the way so we can connect back our all of our spark plug and electricity. That's going to go underneath like that. And grab a couple of your studs, get them started. This first one does not go in there, it goes in there. So connect that in. Don't forget this little safety pin to keep that from unclamping. Go and connect up your individual cables. now we can go ahead and do the final tighten on these. And there's not a specific torque on these, so I just go finger tight. It's a metal to metal connection, so I'm not too concerned about it vibrating off or anything like that. There's no need to really ratchet these things on super tight. Okay, don't forget this little plastic piece that holds your wiring on. That just slides over that stud. So we got our 2 grommets in there. This kind of slides back underneath those two conduits. And it just pushes down like that. Okay, that's it. The whole thing takes probably 20 minutes or less. Very simple to do. And hopefully this fixes some of your oil consumption issues. So thanks for watching.